Students, so this is video 10. We will continue with the topic. So today's topic is autonomic nervous system. Okay, so when we say autonomic nervous system, you have all this visceral, vegetative and involuntary nervous system which is involved, is widely distributed throughout the body. So autonomic nervous system is widely distributed in the body, and it constitutes of visceral, vegetative or involuntary nervous system. So it controls, what are the function? It controls the tissues, example, smooth muscle, heart and glands, which are not under voluntary control. The autonomic nervous system consists of two divisions. So when we say autonomic nervous system, it is constituting, it is spread all over the body, and then there are two types which comes under autonomic nervous system, which is called as sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so autonomic nervous system constitutes or it is divided into sympathetic nervous system and non-sympathetic nervous system. So when we say sympathetic, it is also called as thoracolumbar outflow. Thorax. Okay, so thoracolumbar. Remember this in vertebra we have studied. Thoracolumbar outflow. Parasympathetic is cranio, that is involving the brain. Okay, craniosacral outflow. Cranial sacral outflow. Okay, so the sympathetic and parasympathetic mostly exhibit mutual antagonism. Okay, then we see that the parasympathetic is mostly concerned with the vegetative functions. Already we have seen that autonomic as a whole, it constitutes for visceral, vegetative or involuntary nervous system. So this parasympathetic is mostly concerned with the vegetative functions. Example, motility, movement, okay, and secretions of gastrointestinal tract. So whatever secretions are formed in the stomach, okay, it is again because of the parasympathetic nervous system. It is mostly concerned with the vegetative functions. Example, motility is movement and then secretions in the gastrointestinal tract. This system is essential for the normal existence of the organism. Okay, so we need this parasympathetic, okay, for the normal existence of the organism, that is a living being. Okay, talking about the sympathetic nervous system, it is concerned with preparing the organism for emergency. So in case of flight or fight, okay, so you see something for an instant, for example, you are walking on the road and suddenly on the road you see a big cobra standing. So what will you do? Or will you ask your friend, what shall we do? No, the moment you see, what happens? There is an adrenaline rush, you just run out of here, which is, which happens by itself, involuntary. Okay, so sympathetic nervous system is responsible for that. Sympathetic system is concerned with preparing the organism. Organism here is a living being, okay, for emergency, fight or flight. Okay, unlike the parasympathetic, the sympathetic is not essential for normal existence. So for normal living, you don't require it, but for emergency cases, it is the sympathetic nervous system which gives the stimuli. Okay. Next, both the sympathetic and parasympathetic essentially consist of, when you talk about both the system, okay, you have preganglionic nerve, a ganglion, a postganglionic nerve, an effector organ which the nerve supplies. So there is one small diagram which is given down. You can see when I am posting the notes. So you have a preganglion. Ganglion, already we have seen that it is group of nerve fibers. Okay, so these preganglion nerve is there in both of the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Then you have a ganglion, postganglion. Before the ganglion is preganglionic nerve and the ganglion. Next, after the ganglion is the postganglionic nerve and an effector organ which the nerve supplies. So there is a, before the part of the main ganglion, we call that as preganglionic nerve. Then the main ganglion, then the postganglionic nerve. Then you have the organ to which, the nerve gives the stimuli. Okay, so this is all about the introduction of autonomic nervous system. Okay, I will just summarize with you. Okay, so autonomic nervous system, it mainly includes functions like for viscera. Viscera already we know that it is the internal organs. We have studied that. Then vegetative or involuntary nervous system. Vegetative already we have seen it is useful for movement. Okay, and then involuntary nervous system. So when we say it is widely distributed throughout the body, you find this autonomic nervous system. Okay, so when we say autonomic nervous system, it is divided into two: sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic system is actually useful for the organism. Okay, and then it is responsible for vegetative functions. So when we say vegetative functions, it is the example for motility, movement, and secretions of gastrointestinal tract. This system is essential for the normal existence of the organism. Next you have sympathetic system. It's concerned with preparing the organism for emergency. So we prepare the organism for emergency, that is the fight or the flight. Unlike the parasympathetic, the sympathetic is not essential for normal existence. And when we see the structure, both sympathetic and parasympathetic, essentially they consist of preganglionic nerve, ganglion, postganglionic nerve, and then they have a effector organ which the nerve supplies. Okay. So next we will move on to sympathetic nervous system. In detail we will see. There is also a picture. Okay, so it will be posted to you. Okay, so the preganglionic, so we were actually dealing with the structure. Okay, so the preganglionic fibers of sympathetic nervous system, they arise from the lateral horn cells of the spinal cord. So you know that spinal cord has anterior horn, posterior horn. So this preganglionic fibers, which is a structure of a sympathetic and parasympathetic actually. So this is, from where is it arising? Arising means which is coming. Okay, so this is coming from the lateral horn cells. Okay, so you can see that it is coming from the lateral horn cells. Okay, so now we have seen anterior, posterior. Okay, now new word is lateral. So where is this lateral? Anterior means in the front, posterior means at the back, lateral means straight. Okay, horizontal, when we say, it is like this, lateral. Okay, so you see at the sides. Okay, so lateral is at the sides, horizontal is like this. Okay, and when you say straight, it is vertical, lateral is at the side. So when we say lateral horn cells, these are found at the sides of the spinal cord. Okay, so it is situated at first thoracic to third lumbar segment. That's why we call that to be thoracolumbar outflow. Remember? Okay, so the preganglionic fibers of sympathetic nervous system. Here mainly we are dealing with sympathetic nervous system, which arises from the lateral, that is the sides of the on cells of the spinal cord. So it is exactly situated in the first thoracic to third lumbar segment. Okay, they pass through anterior nerve roots of spinal nerves. So where are they passing? They are passing through anterior nerve roots of spinal nerves. So they will go to the anterior nerve roots of the spinal nerves. Okay, so we have seen where it is situated, and then where do they pass? They are actually situated at the sides of the spinal cord or the lateral. Use the anatomical word, don't use side, you should write lateral horn cells of the spinal cord, and then that is exactly in the first thoracic to third lumbar segment. Then from there they pass into the anterior nerve roots of the spinal cord. They run for a short distance in the spinal nerve. So they are not very big. Okay, so they run through the short distance in the spinal cord. So here in the diagram you can see spinal cord. At the side you can see, there is a preganglionic fiber on the lateral side, white ramus. Okay, you have sympathetic ganglion, preganglion, then ganglion of posterior root, anterior root. Okay, all those you can see. Okay, so this is okay. After that what happens? From the spinal nerve they are communicated to ganglia of sympathetic chain. So we know that it is preganglia. Where is it? It is in the first lumbar and the first lumbar and the first thoracic and third lumbar segment, so which is at the lateral side of the spinal horn, right? So that's what we have seen. It is lateral on cells of the spinal cord. So from there they are passing to the anterior nerve root of the spinal nerves. From there again they run for a short distance in the spinal nerve. Then from the spinal nerve they are communicated to the ganglia. So from pre-ganglionic, now they have all passing through the spinal nerve, they are getting attached to the ganglia. Okay, so they are communicating with the ganglia of sympathetic chain through white rami. So you can see in the diagram how this is actually coming, and it is connecting to a white ramus from the spinal nerve. It is coming, and you can see in the diagram that it is connecting. Okay, from there, okay, the sympathetic chain consists of a series of ganglia present on either side of the vertebral column. These ganglia are connected with each other by means of fibers. So just write that it is connecting via the white rami, or through the white rami communicants, or you can write white ramus, that is enough. It is connecting through white ramus. Okay, next is post-ganglionic fibers. Now we have seen where this preganglion is starting in sympathetic nervous system, then how it is going to the spinal nerve through the anterior root. Then in the spinal nerve it runs short distance, and then from the spinal nerve it is communicating to the main ganglion through white ramus. Now we will see from white ramus how it connects to the post-ganglionic fiber. So preganglion is before the ganglion. Ganglion is the main, okay. Post-ganglion is after connecting to the ganglion. The other structure is called as post-ganglion. So when we say post-ganglionic fibers, they are formed by gray rami. Okay, so they are gray rami communicates which arise from the ganglia of sympathetic chain. So what happens is sympathetic chain from white ramus, it connects to the gray ramus, that is the parasympathetic. Okay, which is the it is post-ganglion of sympathetic chain. Did you understand? From the it is joining through the spinal nerve to the ganglion, okay, and then we have seen it is happening through white ramus. After that you have, now the nerves has to get into the gray ramus, which is the post-ganglion, okay. So this is of the sympathetic chain. They enter into spinal nerve of the same level and reach the organ which they supply. So again from there they enter into the spinal nerve, and from the spinal nerve what happens, it will go to the effector organ, to whichever organ it has to supply. Very easy it is. Okay, you have to know the structure, and you should know how pre-sympathetic chain, okay, pre-ganglionic chain is connecting with the ganglion, and from ganglion how it is connecting to the post-ganglion, from post-ganglion how it is connecting to the effector organ. So from we see that it is found on the lateral side of lateral horn of the spinal cord. From there it reaches to the anterior nerve roads of the spinal cord. From spinal nerve it reaches to the white ramus, that is the ganglion. So from white ramus it has to go to the post-ganglion, which is the gray ramus. Then from there it will reach to the effector organ, to whichever organ these nerves are supplying. It will reach to that particular organ. Okay, so again it goes to spinal nerve, and from spinal nerve it will go to the particular organ. Okay, so I just repeat again, sympathetic nervous system, when we say preganglionic, okay, of the sympathetic chain, it is arising from the lateral, that is the sides, okay, of horn cells of spinal cord. Okay, and where is it situated? In the first thoracic to third lumbar segment. That's why we call that to be thoracolumbar outflow, because from there only it is coming outside. So when it comes from outside, it is connecting to the spinal anterior root. From the anterior root it connects to the spinal nerves. From the spinal nerves it will attach to the white ramus, which is the ganglion. So from the white ramus, that is the ganglion, it will attach to the post-ganglionic structure. Okay, so from there it will go to the spinal nerve again. From spinal nerve it will connect with the effector organ. Okay, so this is about parasympathetic nervous system. Very easy, very simple. Follow the diagram. you have sympathetic chain, you have on the lateral side, you will see preganglionic fibers, white ramus, and you have the gray ramus down. After the white ramus is the gray ramus, and then you can see, okay, with the diagram, posterior root, anterior root, okay, remember this. So some of the fibers may ascend to higher ganglia, or it can descend to lower ganglia of the sympathetic chain. Okay, so some fibers will go to the higher part of the ganglia, okay, or it can go to the lower part. Either it can go up to the higher part, or it can come to the lower part, okay, and then they come out of a ganglion of appropriate level through gray rami, communicates and enter into spinal cord. So few will go up, few will go down, they will connect to the gray ramus, and then it will be supplied to the spinal nerves. Okay, the outflow of the nerves when it comes, some might ascend, some might descend, some might descend into the ramus, okay, gray ramus, and then it will be provided to the spinal nerves. From the spinal nerves it will get connected to the effector organ. Okay, so tomorrow we will see with parasympathetic nervous system.